What is your American dream?
I come from Myanmar. The American dream to me is to be able to start my own business one day.
I am from Texas. My family is from Guatemala. My American dream is pursuing happiness while also having stability.
I'm from Connecticut. My American dream is to fight for justice and to scream for the voiceless.
I'm from the former Soviet Union, which is now known as Russia. The American dream to me, despite being an immigrant, means to give the opportunities and dreams to my children the same way that my family gave to me.
I'm from China. My American dream is to be a fashion designer in New York because I love fashion so much.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
I love pickles. I love sour pickles. I love dill pickles. I love sweet pickles. I love pickles.
Oh, hello everybody! Brad Squad, I hope you're having a great, happy Wednesday. In case you missed yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live, Brittany Russell, Spar Bernstein's managing personal injury trial attorney, talked about the $4 million verdict she recently got for one of her clients who was suffering from mesothelioma, which you get from working with asbestos. Go, Brittany! She's amazing. And in other news from yesterday, there was a lot of discussion about pickles, hairy pickles to be exact. Well, Groundhog Sam only knows about 2 hairy pickles. One, if Groundhog Sam has predators chasing him, like foxes or something, that would definitely be a hairy pickle. And the other hairy pickle I know about is this. Yeah, I mean, if a pickle falls on the floor, then it's hairy, okay? Got it? And you know what? There's a 30-second rule, but not when you're groundhog. Groundhogs eat everything. Pickles! All right, everybody, what's on today's show? You'll have to wait and see. Enjoy!
All right, I think this groundhog is totally getting out of control right now. This groundhog is taking over the office. I walk around all day, and all I see is the groundhog filming. He has the production crew following him all around. I think he's angling for a reality TV show, this groundhog.
He might be the star of the show pretty soon.
I think he may be the star of the show very, very soon. I swear to God, Belgium Kim, welcome, and welcome everybody to Brad Show Live.
Thank you, Brad.
I swear to God, I was walking around the office today 3 different times, and the groundhog was like taking up the whole area, filming with like 5 people there, with lights and everything. I mean, it was like a whole production for the.
He started gathering a crowd.
Yes. So any event.
What's up, Brad?
I'll tell you what's up. I read that a federal judge. This is for DACA people. This is some good news. A federal judge ruled in the District of Columbia that President Trump has to accept DACA applications from everybody, including new DACA applicants, that what he did was illegal, but they are giving 90 days for the Department of Homeland Security to better explain its reasoning for why it was canceling the DACA. Okay. In addition to that, my daughter Gabby seems to think it's okay to call every day at 5:45.
Did she just call you?
Yes, twice. I will not be answering her call.
Sorry, Gabby.
Sorry, Gabby.
Ask her a question in the comments.
That is correct. In addition, let's see. And it says if they don't process it within 90 days, they don't come up within 90 days how to, why this shouldn't be canceled. They have to accept DACA applications from everybody.
Whoa.
So that's what's happening there. Now, unfortunately for Trump travel ban people, Supreme Court was not very much in favor of immigrants' rights groups who brought a lawsuit. The arguments were today. I watched a little bit of it, and it seems that there were about 5 judges who are not buying that Trump was being racist when he had made a quote-unquote Muslim travel ban. Now, one of the justices said, well, it's only about 8% of the Muslim population which is being banned by the United States, and it's based on security reasons, and we have to defer to the President of the United States for security.
Right.
And then Justice Kagan, who was on the more liberal side, she asked a hypothetical. This is how the Supreme Court works. She asked a hypothetical, and she said, what if we get in, somebody who's not an anti-Muslim, because Trump has obviously, tweeted some very hateful things about Muslims.
Right.
She said to the general solicitor who was arguing on behalf of the United States, she said, what if in the future there was a president who was tweeting very anti-Semitic comments?
Exactly.
And it was obvious to the entire world that this president, in a hypothetical, not Donald Trump, but somebody in the future, didn't like Jewish people. And then decides one day, no one is allowed to come from Israel. Is that okay? And the solicitor said, well, you can't hold somebody's, religious positioning as part of a security reason. So if his cabinet and Trump says it's a security problem for people from Israel in the future to come, then so be it. And that was their position.
So they're saying that would be okay as long as we're using the guise
as long as you use the
security.
guise of security, correct.
But Trump himself called it a Muslim ban, right?
He did.
He himself has said ban on Muslims.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there.
That's disgusting.
Excuse me, you talk amongst yourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to go call my. I'm not even going to. I mean, it's ridiculous. Go talk amongst yourself, Kim.
Hey, how you doing, Brad Squad? We didn't actually say hello to you guys today, so I'm gonna say hello to you guys. And we've already got questions in from Day Chanel and Lorna McPherson. I got your questions, but a quick hello to Chin Carter, who is back from yesterday. Marjorie Thompson, Patrona Collins, Dion Watson, Tamika Nelson. We've got the Brad Squad at the ready. David Gabriel, hello. I hope you're feeling better. Take ginger and honey, according to the Brad Squad, if you're feeling under the weather. Trudy Proud, welcome back. Has been all week in the comments. Welcome, Trudy. Pauline Williams, hello. Christy Kinsale, of course, watching on both feeds because she's a real one. Pauline Williams, hello. Kismita Compton, Jella B. Shauna, We've got people. Ooh, Yesatis, I'm sorry if I butchered that, also getting her questions in early. So those people know they're going to get their question answered, family. What about you, Brad? Any hellos on your end?
I don't know who did you say hello to Groundhog Sam?
I did not say hello.
Did you say hello to David Gabriel?
I did.
Did you say hello to Tamika Nelson?
I did.
Dion Watson?
Yes.
Patrona Collins?
Absolutely.
You said Cece?
I didn't say Cece Mitchell.
You did not say Cece Mitchell. Patrona, you definitely did. And
I did.
Barbara Lord, you said hello to her?
I didn't say hello. Or Jeff Bosey, who's like,
Jeff
what's
Bosey.
up, Kim?
Yes.
Tamika claiming Trudy for herself. She's like, I'm the one who brought Trudy Proud over.
Very funny. So any event, everybody right now, please call 1-800-529-5465 and welcome everybody to the Brad Show Live. Tracy has already been on hold for 10 minutes. We have 11 open lines. I will be answering your immigration questions. So if you call 1-800-529-5465, I will be answering all of your immigration questions at 6 o'clock on the dot.
Absolutely.
We have about 12 more minutes before we end up with our news here.
Yep.
We have 12 more minutes of news.
That's not a lot of news time.
It is not a lot of news time. We have lots. And by the way, I'm flying around the world sharing. We are sharing,
yes,
everybody.
Yes,
sharing is definitely caring. So please share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we will be here to help you answer all of your immigration questions while we wait for our 6 o'clock hour, where we will be answering your immigration questions. And by the way, if anybody hasn't realized it yet, there is an actual format to this show. I should be looking over here. There is an actual format to this show.
That's
okay?
right.
So everybody understands. I should be looking over here now. So everybody understands what the format is. Okay? So between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, We are talking about whatever we feel like here on the Brad Show Live. Or whatever Jill tells me to talk about in my cards. One or the other. Okay? At 6 o'clock on the dot, we're going to be answering your immigration questions. So if you call and you're in the queue before 6 o'clock, I guarantee you that you will be answering your immigration questions. And that telephone number is 1-800-529-5465 at 6:30 on the dot. 6:30 on the dot.
6:00.
Is there any more exactly at 6:30?
There
6:30. 6:30 on the dot.
6:30 on
we
the
will
dot.
be answering all of your social media questions.
That's my time.
Right. All right. So in the meantime, please call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800. One of those days, Kim. Just one of those days. Wherever I turn, it's always the wrong turn.
It's not gonna be right.
It's never right today. 1-800-529-5465. By the way, did you see, you know who's also having a little awkward moments?
Oh, who?
Melania.
Oof.
Yeah, she doesn't want to hold Donald's hand.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, she does not want to hold Donald's hand.
Probably covered in pee.
In footage captured by MSNBC and later dissected by Twitter users, because that's what Twitter users do.
Bless you, Twitter.
All right. Trump appears to make a subtle effort to hold his wife's hand, first extending his pinky finger and then gently giving her hand a little shake before she places her hand in his. Ooh. We have the video. Let's watch. And what does she do?
So awkward.
And what?
It's like trying to hold a dead fish. She is so not about it.
Ooh. She's like, ooh, that hand touched Stormy Daniels.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And the other one.
Gets peed
and
on.
the other one. And I think got peed on this hand.
No.
Who would want to touch this hand?
No, not even his wife, apparently.
Apparently not. And so Twitter ripped it apart a little bit. Let's see if anybody on Twitter had anything funny to say. I'm going to read them now for the first time.
Certain that they did.
Betsy Bits wrote, "That moment when your wife resists holding your hand, priceless." At Daring Reporter wrote, "Poor Melania. She looked like she was holding back tears under her hat as she held Trump's hand." And New Girl Friday tweeted, "Melania's relationship tips: wear a wide brim hat, and your husband will never be able to kiss you." There it is. I like that. I like that advice the best.
That is good advice.
That is very good advice.
He was like trying to kiss her too.
Right. And that's the picture. There's the picture. Wear a wide brim hat, and the best you can get is like an air kiss.
Yeah, that's like literally as far as he got.
That's about as far as you can get. Meanwhile, Donald Trump ended up being working as the butler for Emmanuel Macron.
Oh, did
he? Is Macron or Macron? How do you pronounce his name?
Well, really, it's Macron.
Macron. Emmanuel Macron.
But Americans have accepted Macron.
Macron. Emmanuel Macron. Macron. He's the French prime minister.
Yeah.
And apparently Donald Trump was brushing off dandruff.
Oh.
Now, nobody really knows if Trump was there he is, he's brushing dandruff. The problem is, and we're going to watch the video in a second, the video does not show that there was any dandruff on the French president's. So people believe that what Trump was doing was just trying to show him up and embarrass him. Let's watch the video and see if there was any dandruff on the prime minister's. I don't know, I can't tell. What is that?
But there were
what kind of president does that?
There were a million cameras.
Can you imagine like Obama doing that?
No.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't. I can't imagine Obama doing anything that Donald Trump does.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, and he's a self-obsessed germaphobe, right?
And so why would he even?
Why would he
someone
touch the
else's
guy's dandruff? I don't believe there was any dandruff there.
No.
I believe he was just showing him up.
There's a million cameras.
You know what? You know, he's just like. He's like everybody's stereotype of the ugly American, this guy.
This is
like the ugly American.
Cowboy.
Yeah. Not the cowboy, the ugly American. There's nice cowboys. We just talked to a cowboy the other day.
That's true. Farmer Joe, good cowboy.
So now Twitter blew this one up as well.
I'm sure they did.
All right. So Twitter wrote, my you catastrophe.
Okay.
I guess that's who it is. At My You Catastrophe wrote, "Oh my gosh, did Trump just flick dandruff off Macron's suit and announce it to the press corps? What world are we in?" Exactly.
That's exactly
it. That is exactly it. What world are we in? And D. Dale 8 wrote, 2017 power move. Dominate foreign leader with outrageous public handshake.
That's
2018 power move. Publicly comment on foreign leaders. Possibly imaginary dandruff and then wipe it off his shoulder. I like that one. Debbie Zobak wrote, "Yup, he just did that. Brush dandruff off President Macron's shoulder on international TV. Unbelievable." And then finally on Twitter, Roland Cahill wrote, "No, this is not an SNL skit. It's Trump telling Macron he has dandruff on his suit and wiping it off." I mean, that's crazy.
It would be an SNL skit, though.
Yeah,
like, I bet
that's
SNL
crazy.
had to rewrite a skit for this weekend now because they're like, I had that.
Yes, they are definitely rewriting that one. And please, everybody, don't forget, in about 5 minutes, we're going to be answering your immigration questions. So if you call right now at 1-800-529-5465, that's 1-800-529-5465, I will be answering your immigration questions. Meanwhile, did you see in the Ninth Circuit there was the monkey suit. There was a monkey. This monkey here, his handler, not him. Okay, but his handler, on behalf of the monkey, filed an appeal in federal circuit court in the Ninth Circuit, suing for copyright. For the copyright, because the monkey took out a phone and did some selfies of himself, and here's some selfies of the monkey did, and the monkey now, by his handler, claims that since it was a selfie that was made by the monkey owns those pictures, and no one has a right to take those pictures.
What?
And you see, and here he's holding the camera here, this monkey.
That's crazy.
So it was an animal rights group through the handler sued, charging in court against the people who took the monkey's pictures, and maybe even us, because here we're putting up the monkey's pictures right now.
Right.
Okay. Charging the monkey on the copyright because it took the pictures.
That's
so we're only now allowed to put the monkey's pictures up because it was found out by, or at least ruled by, the Ninth Circuit. We've been holding on to these pictures for months.
We've had them in the bank
for months. For months we've been holding on to these monkey pictures, and we were waiting for the Ninth Circuit to come down. They came down, unfortunately, against the monkey. So now we are able to show the monkey's selfies on our show.
Lucky for us.
Yeah, the appeals court in the Ninth Circuit, it ruled, we conclude that this monkey and all animals, since they are not humans, lack any standing under the Copyright Act. Judge Carlos Bay said it's assumed that it's humans. It's humans who can bring an action in a courtroom and not a monkey.
Could you imagine being the monkey's attorney, Brad?
That just brings a whole new meaning to this courtroom is a circus.
It's a circus.
It's a circus.
This has become a zoo, you guys.
It's become a zoo, this courtroom. All right. And in this news, where just too damn bad.
Okay.
The too damn bad news.
Too damn bad.
Man was threatening to jump off of a bridge, an overpass.
Oh, God.
He says, I'm going to do it.
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. I hate my life. I'm doing it. Don't talk me out of this.
Right.
I'm going to do it.
It's happening.
And there was a standoff.
Okay.
Between this man and the police. The police, no.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You matter.
Don't do it. It's a big drop. You're going to kill yourself. Let's talk it through.
Right.
And then somebody, a very smart policeman, had an idea. What if we asked like a couple of tractor trailers to just park their car under the overpass? Then it's not too much of a fall. So the troopers, the police actually literally stopped, here's the picture, of like a whole bunch of trucks, put it under the underpass, and now 13 trucks packed in tightly to minimize the gaps between them. And if the man was going to take a fall, it would have been a total of 6 feet. Not enough to kill himself onto the highway. And there, Lieutenant Mike Shaw from the Michigan State Police said, at that point, we were able to talk the man off. He wasn't really going to fall too far.
Right.
Okay, he said, in that picture somewhere is somebody that was contemplating ending their own life. We want that to be the story, not what Michigan State Police did or what the truckers did, but that the person changed their own minds.
Wow. That kind of restores my faith in humanity just a little bit, though.
Yeah, and finally, before we get to our immigration calls at 1-800-529-5465, that's 1-800-529-5465. Kim, I do have to tell you something.
Tell me.
Uranus smells like rotten eggs.
Uranus, excuse me, Brad?
Yes, a long-standing staple in the joke books of kids.
Yes.
That the planet Uranus is stinky. Okay? It has been scientifically discovered that it is now.
No.
Uranus does smell like rotten eggs.
What?
It is true. A scientific study using sensitive smelling techniques via it does look like a little bit of an egg, but they use very, very special scientific smelling techniques. Science.
Obviously.
They discovered that Uranus smells like rotten eggs. Now I can tell you, I think a lot of people knew that already.
Uranus smells like farts.
I don't think that was really too far off what people thought. And there you have it, Kim. That's all the news we have for the Brad Show Live. You see the rest of this? We'll save that for tomorrow. We're going to be answering your immigration questions. 1-800-529-5465. If you don't get through on our lines right now, we do have a few lines open. I promise you I'll get to everybody who calls. But if you can't get through and the lines are booked solid, right now we have a couple of lines open still. But if you can't get through and you do call 1-800-529-5465, you could always talk to Belgian Kim. And Belgian Kim will talk with you.
Yep.
She has no answers for you. Zero answers for you. But what she does have is the ability to ask me your immigration question at 6:30. So we're going to get to social media check-in at 6:30. Right now we're going to be answering your immigration questions. And our first question goes to a long person who's been holding for 24 minutes.
Woo.
Now I can conceivably talk for another 5 minutes and make him wait 30. But I think it's been more than enough time.
Absolutely.
And I think we have to answer her question. Tracy in Queens, how are you?
Hi, Brad. How are you? I'm great.
What's happening?
Okay, so I have a petition that reached 5 years on Sunday, but still no approval. Mom is a citizen. I'm over 21, unmarried.
Okay. Well, you shouldn't worry until your priority date is reached and they still have not approved your case. Okay, so
which is another 2 years or a year and a couple months.
So whether your case gets approved today, it got approved last year, or gets approved next year, you're getting the green card on the same day. You know, the only thing is, obviously, it makes you very anxious that you haven't gotten your approval letter, but, you know, your mom's filing for you. How hard is it to prove it's your mom? Here's your birth certificate. So I assume it's going to get approved if you submitted a birth certificate and filled out the forms properly. So I wouldn't, don't worry. You will get approved, and you'll get, and your priority date will be the date in which it was filed. You're not going to lose any time.
Yeah, which was April 21.
Okay. April 21, what year?
2013.
Okay, so they're in 2011 now. So if in 2 years from now, okay, when we have 1 million people watching Brad Show Live, okay?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I mean, I think it's going to happen. That's what people tell me. Okay, 1 million people. I want you to call and say, you know, I watched when nobody was watching. We had like a couple hundred people. We had a whole group of people called the Brad Squad. He said hello to them every day. You call back. I'm going to remember you. Okay? And if it's still not approved, I will take care of it. But I think it'll be approved by then.
Okay. And another question. Are there any cases or scenarios where it would be denied?
If they don't believe, if you filled out the form wrong, you didn't submit the right documentation.
Well, they didn't send anything back.
Well, then nobody's looked at your application. So the worst case scenario is that you will get what's called an RFE, which is a request for further evidence, and they'll say you screwed up somewhere. And then they'll give you 89 days to respond. And then at that point, you live in Queens, I live in Manhattan, I'm right across the river, and you run to my office and you show me what's the problem and we will fix it.
Okay, and if you started a business in the States, is that a problem?
No.
An online business?
No. You're gonna ultimately need to probably do a preliminary waiver, go home and come back, but we'll figure that out after the I-130 is approved.
No, actually, I'm just here visiting, so I don't live here. I'm just on vacation.
Okay, fine. Then you'll be okay.
I do have an e-commerce business.
That's fine.
It's run online.
That's fine.
So it's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Well, I'll be calling back in 2 years
2
to
years.
let you know
That's
what
right,
happened.
right. Just make sure you say you watched us in 2018. I'm telling you, 2020. It's going to be hard to get through, but I'm going to remember you. All right?
All right. Cool.
All right, take care.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Campson in San Francisco, California. Campson.
Actually, it's a Kamish.
Kamish.
Yeah, Kamish.
Kamish. I'm sorry. I wanted to speak to Campson, but I'll speak to Kamish instead. How are you,
Okay,
Kamish?
I can't. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Where are you from, Kamish?
I'm originally from India.
From India. What could I do to help you today?
Yeah, I got a green card 5 years before EB2 category.
Wonderful.
So it's 5 years completed. I'm eligible for citizenship. Everything looks okay technically. But I messed up something 4 years before.
What?
Have a conviction.
What is the conviction for?
The arrest was like for domestic violence, put a multiple felony charges and everything. When they filed to the court, they put only one charges on domestic violence. They dropped most of them in misdemeanor. But I was keep going to the court like for 8 months. I got frustrated. I want to get it over with. They gave me a deal. We'll drop you to 422 PC. That's a simple assault and battery. It's not a domestic violence charge, but you have to plead guilty. At that time, I didn't think in long term I want to get over with. I thought the simple assault and battery won't affect the immigration. It's not a domestic violence.
But it is a domestic violence because it happened in a domestic violence situation. So it can be considered a crime of domestic violence. It's certainly a crime of moral turpitude. I'm not familiar. This happened in California. I can't tell you honestly. I know the California Penal Code. I would actually have to see what the Penal Code actually says and what you pled guilty to. But certainly it's going to affect you.
Yeah, I was guilty for assault and battery. That's not domestic violence. It's called simple assault.
Domestic violence is if it was in a family situation and the facts say that this assault happened in a family situation, that could be considered a crime of domestic violence.
So, what are my chances? Like,
I don't know because as I said, I'm not familiar with the California Penal Code. I can tell you that if you pled guilty to some sort of assault in a domestic violence factual situation, immigration will say that is a crime of domestic violence. There was an assault against a family member. And you pled guilty to it. And that is a deportable offense. So what you're telling me and saying it's not a domestic violence, it is. What I would tell you right now is you do not file your citizenship, you do not travel, you sit still and you hold on and you have a consultation with me. You will send us your dispositions. We're going to take a look exactly what you pled guilty to, and then we're going to figure it out from there. So hold on. All right, let's go to Lorna in Boston, Massachusetts. Lorna.
Hi.
Hi, Lorna.
Good evening. First time on the phone.
This is my first time too, so we're both together first time.
No, you're not the first time. No, the first time I'm talking to you. I always
I'm saying it's my first time talking to you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
all right. So what's going on?
I have two questions.
Yes.
I got married last year, July, to my son's father in Jamaica, and I put in his paper this year. So how long does it take for him to come here?
You married in July, your son's father. You put in his papers when?
This year, since year.
When this year? What month?
I think it was March.
He won't be here till spring of 2019. Spring of 2019. It's going to be 12 to 14 months. Yeah, next
2019.
year. Yeah,
okay. Next question. I filed for my two daughters over 21. I'm a citizen. And I filed for my two daughters over 21. How long does it take for them to join me?
Are they single or married?
They're single.
And when did you file for them?
Last year.
They're going to be about 5 to 6 more years.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Hang in, Lorna, and thank you from Boston, Massachusetts.
You're doing a wonderful job.
You're beautiful. Thank you.
Congratulations to you on your second.
Thank you very much. I
And have a
appreciate
nice
it.
evening.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you. All right. So very nice, Lorna. I love Lorna. She should call more often. All right. Tamika in Newark, New Jersey. Tamika. What Tamika is this?
Is it Tamika Nelson?
I don't know. I don't think it's Tamika Nelson. Deandra in East Meadow, New York.
Hello.
Hi, Deandra.
Hi. Evening. How are you?
Good. What's happening?
I have a quick question. I petitioned for my husband. I submitted a file, the I-130 form. After I did that, I also did the I-129F. After I got the received letter from USCIS, I'm just wondering how long they take to process that.
So you're doing a K3 visa for him?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll take less than the I-130, but a few months less. So let's say the I-130 takes 8-9 months, the K3 will take 6 months. It's still going to take some time.
So that will take about 6 months.
Yeah, it's still going to take some time, but you'll get him here a few months earlier.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. Let's see if Tamika from Newark is back with us. Tamika.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Hi, Tamika. How are you?
I'm good. So I have two questions.
What?
First question is that I'm married to a U.S. citizen and I submit my paperwork, but my husband, he holds like $15,000 in child support from his next baby mama. And I'm really worried if it might affect my green card. What do you think?
I think it will affect your green card because you have to be able to show that you can support your person you're sponsoring, which was you, 125% above the poverty level. But already your husband is having an issue supporting the children he already has here in the United States. It's going to be a huge negative against him and you and your application. He's got to take care of that.
So what do you think? Can something be done about it when it do affect?
I think it's going to absolutely affect. He's not paying for the children who are already here. How is he? The government's going to say he can't support his own children who are here. And now the government, maybe has to pay for it because maybe the children are getting food stamps or something because he's not paying child support. And now you want us to bring another person into America and a green card? That person's going to get food stamps too. That's what may happen.
What I'm saying, is it going to be that bad where I might not even get a green card?
Correct. That's exactly what I'm saying. So what I would suggest you do is, now luckily here in my office, we have immigration lawyers, we have family lawyers. All right, so this is why we have all these different types of attorneys working here. We work in conjunction. We'll deal with his child support issues. We'll deal with your immigration issues, and we fix everything. We got people here that do it all. All right, so hold on.
Okay.
All right, but yes, it's a problem. All right, so 1-800-529-5465. Oh boy, I'm having a problem with this name. Yastis Isatis in, boy, he doesn't even have an easy town he lives in. Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. Isatis in Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. Yes.
It's Yatis.
Yasidis.
Yatis.
I'm not even going to try. How are you? Yati. Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm in Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania.
Okay, and where are you originally from?
I'm from Jamaica.
Oh, wow. Okay. You have a very very unusual name for a Jamaican. Is that? I've never met it. I don't know. Have you ever met a Satis before?
Yeah.
Is there other Satises in the world?
It's a perfume by Givenchy.
Oh, it is. Oh, excuse moi. I'm really a man. How would I know this stuff? Really? Okay. All right. And Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. It's a huge Jamaican population out there in Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania?
Not really.
Not really. All right, I'm only joking with you. What can I do to help you?
So you brought me here when I was sick. I got a V visa. My mom found out about it. And now I'm 20, and my green card expires this month, April. So now I'm just curious to know, what do I do? I'm married to a U.S. citizen. He's also in the Navy.
But you have a green card.
I have a green card, but it says that it expires April.
All right, so you can file for your citizenship or you can renew your green card. What do you want to do?
Does that make me out of status though?
No. If you had a V visa and never applied for a green card, you would be out of status. But you have a green card. It expires in April. It's like you have it. Okay. Let me ask you this, Belgium Kim. I'll give you the best example. Bring Belgium Kim in here a second.
Okay.
Belgium Kim.
Yes.
You have an American passport.
I do.
Okay. If your passport expires and you don't renew it, are you no longer an American?
I think I'm still an American.
You're still an American, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Your green card expires, you don't renew it, you're still a lawful resident, you just don't have proof of it. Just like Belgium Kim wouldn't have proof that she's an American citizen because she has an expired passport, but the fact is she's American. Same exact thing. Okay? So you can renew your green card. It's not you're going to be out of status or illegal, so you can renew your green card or you can file your citizenship, whatever you want.
Oh, okay. And my last question is can you do everything through you? Or?
Yes. We can do it all, and you can sit right in your comfortable home in Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. We can do it all over the phone.
Okay,
all right,
awesome.
hold on 1 second. Now she's cute. All right, 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Dominic in Chicago, Illinois. Dominic.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Good. So I have questions. I have 10 years green card for my wife, from actually my ex-wife. And in 2011, when I received the temporary green card for 2 years, I traveled twice to Europe and have no problem. And then when I received the 10 years green card, I went to Poland and they pulled me over. They held me in the room with a lot of people for 1 hour, and they came back, they gave me the green card, and they told me, welcome back. And that happened random or because I have conviction 20 years ago?
Because you have a conviction 20 years ago. Nothing happens random.
Okay.
You know what they call that room? Some people call that room? And I'm not saying anything bad about you, but you know what they call that room? They call that room the bad boy room. Okay, so what is your conviction from 20 years ago? What happened?
Okay, I was 3 conviction, 2 times driving. Yeah.
Okay.
2 times driving under suspended license. And everything happened with the 1 year. And the last one, I was charged with public indecency, but I was they throwing out the case, and I was guilty to disorderly conduct and have supervision for 1 year.
Okay. So none of that should prevent you from traveling. It may stop you and they want to look through your records, but disorderly conducts and driving with a suspended license, none of that is a deportable or inadmissible offense. Now I have a question for you. When did you get your green card?
2011.
Okay, when you got your green card in 2011, did you present all of these dispositions to the Immigration Service and say, "Hey, I got these"? You did. You did.
Of course.
Okay, so then they should not be they should not be stopping you. You have 2 choices. One is you are eligible to become a citizen, and then that resolves your problem. The other thing you can do is you can write ICE in Washington D.C. and ask them, you're on a lookout list for these arrests that happened 20 years ago, and you shouldn't be pulled aside every time you travel. You can write and say, hey, this is what happened. I already showed my dispositions when I came in the airport. I already showed my dispositions when I got my green card. Everybody has said this is okay. It's a disorderly conduct. It's a driving without a license. It was 20 years ago. I shouldn't have to be inconvenienced and be pulled off of line because I'm not a bad boy. I mean, not going to say bad boy, but you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know.
You didn't do anything bad. So, and they should be able to take that. You know, you just probably have some sort of flag or something in the computer, something to that effect.
Yeah, but before when I put public indecency and they play guilty because I P&L, if somebody make a story and the judge said, the lawyer, I didn't speak English by the time, the lawyer said, you know what, play guilty, you're going to have supervision, you're going to play disorderly conduct, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, you're fine because you got your green card. So if you got your green card, they looked at everything. They shouldn't hold anything against you now. The only thing I could tell you is certainly with the Trump administration, each month and each year, they're getting more suspicious of every last person, and they're being told that every last person has to have a much greater scrutiny. And what's the word they use? They got to. Oh my God! I'm losing my words. Oh yeah,
We have to review it.
They got to vet. They got to do a more vetting of people, in the airport. So that's unfortunately what's happening.
But you know what?
What?
Yeah, but somebody told me, Dominic, even if 20 years ago you got 3 convictions in 1 year, it's a Trump era. Be careful.
No, Dominic, let me tell you because I know what I'm talking about. Okay, disorderly conduct. Trump era or no Trump era, that's not inadmissible, okay? You can come in through the airport. Trump era or no Trump era, driving with a suspended license, that's okay also, okay? So I don't care what anybody else says. You just listen to me. You're fine. Just, they may hassle you coming through the airport, but unfortunately that's what it is. Become a citizen, you're eligible, or write ICE and tell them stop hassling me.
Do I should have the conviction with me in the airport when I come from other countries?
Yes, come with the dispositions. It'll go be faster. Now, you don't have to present it to anybody. But if they ask you, you have it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so that was Dominic in Chicago, Illinois, 1-800-529-5465. We have about 10 more minutes of answering questions. About 5 or 6 people got tired of holding on, and they hung the phone up. Come on, have a little patience.
Why?
I will have Althea. Yes, I know. Althea has been waiting. We're going to get to Althea. But for everybody else out there, I'm going to be answering your immigration questions for 10 more minutes. So if you call right now, you will get through, because about 5 people literally just hung up while I was talking to Dominic. They said, you know what? I'm not interested in Dominic's case. I'm interested in my case. And Brad, you don't want to get to me? Click. Goodbye. But you know what? I'm going to get to Althea, and I'm going to get to anybody else who wants to call right now, because we have a lot of open lines. So if you call right now, I will be answering your immigration questions through 6:30. 1-800-529-5465. That is correct. Wayne "The Rock" Johnson will come out for the 25th time today with my sign and my head on his body. And there he is, The Rock.
We're going to need to wipe the sweat off his brow at some point.
Althea in Brooklyn, New York.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm calling to find out if I filed for my dad, how long it could take. From Trinidad?
You're a citizen?
Yeah.
About a little over a year.
All right then, thank
That's
you.
it? Oh my God, she waited 15 minutes for that. We can help her.
We can help her.
Let me speak to her a second. Althea, you need help with this?
No.
Nah. She just needs to know how long. Nah.
Velma Gale in the comments just apologized for hanging up. She was on hold, and she said,
I saw that.
I'm sorry, dinner is waiting. I gotta hustle. I don't know why dinner is more important than us.
Yeah.
I disagree, Velma. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Velma's got to hustle or bustle. Can I tell you? All right. Kisu in Brooklyn, New York. Kisu.
Hello?
How are you?
Hi.
What's going on?
Yes, I have a major. My problem is major.
Major?
I'm a citizen. I recently become a citizen. I put through my son's papers, adjustment of status, before I become a citizen. So when I heard from NVC, they were sending him back to Jamaica. So I consulted a lawyer, one of the CUNY lawyers, and she when I become a citizen, she refiled as adjustment of status. Last night I received another notice from NVC after I paid $1,225. I did medical. I submit all his paperwork. I thought it will be processed here. But then the notice wanted him to go to Kingston.
Question for you. I have a question for you. Your son is how old?
He's 17.
He's 17. Okay. Do not worry about the notice you got from the National Visa Center. This is they're scaring the hell out of you. They're scaring the bejesus out of you, or the hell out of you, for nothing. Okay, this is a situation where the National Visa Center has no idea that you just filed an adjustment with the Department of Homeland Security. All you need to do is write the National Visa Center and say, "Dear National Visa Center, this is the case number. I have filed an adjustment application for my son. Please transfer the file to whatever office you live in New York. It's 26 Federal Plaza." And then you don't have to worry one more minute. You're fine.
Oh God, thank you.
All right. All right. Sleeping well now. Sleeping well now, Kim. All right. Okay. So you know what to do, right? You know what to do, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. 1-800-529-5465. Debbie in Baltimore, Maryland. Debbie.
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm calling because my son had 3 charges on him, and he was deported 3 years ago, but all the charges were dropped, and he was still deported. I was wondering, I'm a citizen now. How can I help him?
Was he a green card holder, or was he out of status?
He was out of status, but he was married to a citizen.
Okay.
He has a son here in the U.S.
What were the charges against him?
Domestic abuse. His wife had called. They were arguing, and she called like 3 times on him.
Is the wife and him together, or that's a done deal? They're finished.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. All right. Well, you can.
But they're still married.
Okay. Well, you can certainly file for him. I would suggest he get a divorce because when you file for him as a U.S. citizen, it's going to be 15 years for a married son. But if you were to get divorced during the process, that doesn't mean you don't do nothing. File for him now as a married, and then let him get divorced. And then in about 7 years or so, 6 years or so, he will just need one waiver to return because he'll need two waivers to return. One waiver for being out of status for more than a year. I assume he was out of status for more than a year. And a second waiver for being deported, but he won't need a waiver for any criminal record. So yes, there's a process to go through.
Yes, he does not have a criminal record,
So file an right now he needs to do two things. File an I-130, get a divorce.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
1-800-529-5465. By the way, when I say 1-800-529-5465, that is the telephone number to my law office. So when I'm saying call 1-800-529-5465, what I'm saying is, and it's right there on the screen, so I knew that I can say it fast. Right. What I'm saying is call my law office. We can help you. Now, when you call my law office, you're going to speak to a lovely woman by the name of Fiona, or Marie, or Nikisha. There's a whole group there. Okay, the whole group. Speak to the group.
There's a group.
So you can when you speak to the group, you say, hey, I'd like to make an appointment for Brad. Or, hey, let me speak to Brad first for free on the air, and then I'll decide whether I want to go any further.
It's always a good tactic.
Right? It's like going on a date.
Right.
It's like flying somewhere for a date.
As a crazy person does.
Like a crazy person would do.
Right.
You fly back.
Right.
And you say, okay, I dipped my foot in the water. Do I want to go on another date?
I don't know if flying to a date is dipping your toe in the water,
It's dipping
Brad.
your toe in the water.
I think we have different definitions. I consider dipping the toe in the water like
there
half
I
a cup
am,
of coffee.
flying to my date across the world. Yes, flying there. There we are. They got the hint. All right, so let's go to Noya in Queens. Noya.
Hi, Dad.
How are you?
I'm fine, but just a little sketchy.
You're sketchy?
I just want to ask a quick question. Is it possible for me to file actually I filed the 12th of January for my green card.
You filed what?
I did for the first week of May.
What did you file? Tell me what you filed.
The 12th of January.
I lost you from I'm a little sketchy. What are you sketchy about? After that, I didn't understand a word you said. So tell me again.
Okay, I filed my paper for my green card,
Who's
right?
sponsoring you?
My husband. He's a citizen.
Perfect. Now I understand what you're doing. Okay, continue.
So I filed on the 12th of January.
The 12th of May.
And I got my date for the first week of May.
Got the date for the first week of May. What date did we get?
For an interview.
For an interview. May 1st. Your interview's coming up.
The first week in May.
Next week. Next week is your interview.
Actually, yes.
Okay, congratulations.
Is it possible?
Yes.
For me to get an interview date for so quick?
And you filed when? When did you file?
Did you just lose her?
Noya.
You hearing me?
Now I do. When did you file? Your interview is next week. When did you file?
January 12th.
Okay. Did you take a fingerprint already? Noya?
Do the fingerprint.
You did the fingerprint. I'm having trouble with Noya. Hold on one second. Let's see if we can get a bet. We're going to help Noya, but we just got to... If someone could speak to Noya and tell her to take a step to the left and put her hands on her hips, brings her knee in tight.
And move them side to side.
Move side to side. All right. Shumain in Pakistan. Do you think any of the Brad Squad knows what we're talking about?
Jeff Bosey will know
Jeff
the time
Bosey,
warp.
okay. Shumain in Pakistan. How are you, Shumain? Calling from Pakistan. Shumain in Pakistan. Shumain having a little problems from Pakistan with the connection.
I don't know what the cell reception is like
I
in
don't
Pakistan.
know what the cell reception is in Pakistan. You're correct. I don't know either.
Right. So.
I do not know.
So can you hear me now? Apparently not.
I do not know. So any event, Let's see if we can reach Noya. Can we reach Noya or no? Are we going to be... We're going to call Noya. Okay, while they call Noya, let's talk amongst ourselves, Kim.
Ooh.
All right, because we're going to speak to Noya because I promised her that I would help her. Now, right when we're done with Noya.
Yeah.
Okay, right when we're done, not a few minutes later, but right when we're done. Immediately. Correct. Like the second after.
Okay.
We are going to go to your social media questions. Do not call anymore. The only person I want to speak to is Noya.
If you're
Nobody
not Noya.
else. If you're not Noya, we're not speaking.
Nope.
Okay? We're going to speak to everybody. Belgium Kim is going to speak to you right now. Leave all your people leaving questions on social media?
They are leaving.
They are leaving tons of. We have lots of questions?
We do have lots of questions.
So
really,
we're going to be. You know what? I can't. How much longer do I got to wait for Noya, you think?
I don't know. Let's give Noya.
Give her like 45 more seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we can reach.
Oh.
Noya's a very smart lady.
Noya is smart.
Yes.
Yes, she is.
She's just going to make an appointment. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our social media.
Yeah.
Our social media check-in. Here it is. All of our happy faces and telephones for everyone in the world to see. The social media check-in followed by Belgium Kim with her favorite movie tune. We have music now.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
That's pretty darn good.
That was good. It was a little delayed, but good.
Do you know what I find very official?
What?
We have all of the legal paperwork now. It's all squared away. That is our song. That we can change the name of that song to Brad Show Live.
What do you mean we have legal paperwork for that?
We have official looking paperwork. I saw it.
What kind of paperwork do we got?
Apparently we
got lawyers here who did something to make this song official for us?
I think there may be attorneys.
Attorneys did something? That's very official.
It's ours. Woo,
What's the name of our
We're
song?
so official. We can name it whatever.
It's called the Brad Show Live theme song.
Name it whatever you want.
Let's watch it one more time. Brad Show Live theme song. Whoever knew I would have such a thing.
We could even call it the Brad Bernstein if you really wanted.
Yeah, no, the Brad Bernstein's the dance that goes with it.
Oh, yes.
Right, we're gonna have,
could you demonstrate that dance for the people,
I will not be
Brad?
demonstrating the Brad Bernstein dance.
I tried.
Right. It's gonna go something like this, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but but I don't know. No, not enough fingers. I don't do fingers.
You're not a Spirit Fingers guy?
No.
Shame
All
on
right.
you. I'm big on the Spirit
Social
Fingers.
media check-in. What do you got?
So we had a couple of people who actually called in with their questions, so thank you for that, guys. Our first question is from Lorna, and Lorna wants to know, I am a citizen and I filed for my daughter. How long does it take for her to come to the U.S. if she's currently living in Jamaica?
Depends on how old your daughter is and whether she's single or married. So if your daughter's under 21, you're a citizen, it's a year. If she's over 21 and she's single, 7 years. If she's over 21 and married, 15. Gave you all three answers.
Still not. Susan wants to know, I just got my work permit 2 months ago, but now I'm looking for jobs and it is incredibly difficult to find a job in the state that I'm living in. Could I go to a different state just to work, and is that going to create a problem when I go for my interview for my adjustment of status?
If you're basing your adjustment of status on a bona fide marriage in the state where you're leaving, it's a huge problem. You're not living with your spouse anymore. And if you're moving to another state and going to be domiciled in another state, then you got to notify immigration that you've moved states. You can't file in New York, move to Virginia, and then drive back to New York when they get an interview. You now got to transfer your file to Virginia, wherever you're moving. It's a huge problem, and then it goes to the end of the line.
Velma wants to know, if you were denied a provisional waiver, can you reapply or get a refund of some sort?
There is no refunds. If you're denied, the government never gives you back your money, but you can keep reapplying till you get it done right.
Does that also apply to if you're a DACA recipient and you are getting filed for on your dad's application?
Yes.
Glorious. Michael Rose said, my day is going great.
Good.
Literally, like
Good.
question marks.
Because we were all concerned about his day.
We were incredibly concerned.
Yeah, right before the show started, we were all saying, Michael Rose, hey, how's he doing?
What's Michael Rose up to these days?
Is his day okay? All right. So what is his question, Michael Rose's question?
If I get married to a green card holder, how long is the process if I go on filing with my kids who are out of the country? My kids are 22, 19, and 10.
What is the question?
So if I get married to a green card holder, I'm assuming Michael is not a green card holder. How long is the process if I go about filing for my kids who are out of the country? The kids are 22, 19, and 10.
19-year-old will probably not make it. 22-year-old will not make it. The 10-year-old will be included on your case if you're married to a green card holder.
Donna says, 2 of my cousins came here on a 2-year conditional green card. They're 18 and 17 years old, and they got it through their stepmom. My question is, when the time comes to remove the conditional green card for the 10-year, would they need their stepmom to apply for the 10-year, or can they do it by themselves since they're not actually living with her anymore?
You need the stepmom to file the joint application. However, if the child got their conditional green card within 6 months of the parent who got their conditional green card, you just include that child on the parent's application. But if the child got their conditional green card more than 6 months, then you need the step-parent.
Okay. Jesus baby God pick me.
Jesus baby God pick me.
Pick me.
Pickney. Oh, I thought it was pick me.
No,
I thought she was. I thought they were like God pick me. Right. I'm like, that's a good name. Right.
Nope. That's like full government.
Yes.
Jesus baby God pick me. Says my daughter is 23 years old. Could she look about getting into the DACA program, and is it still available?
Well, at the beginning of the show, the first thing we said was that the D.C. court just overruled the Trump. It is not available. They're giving the Trump administration 90 days to give them a good reason why it shouldn't be made available. Stay tuned in 90 days. I'll let you know.
Shumeo says, I filed my I-130 in October of 2012 in the F4 category. How long is it going to take to actually finalize my case?
8 more years.
That's so long.
7 more years.
Okay, I feel a little bit better.
6 more years.
No, you're going to need to bring it down for me to feel better, Brad.
3 weeks, but it's not 3
Great.
weeks. I mean, I'm going to start lying to people. It's 3 weeks. It's on its way. Your green card. Don't worry. No, it's 8 years. It's 8 years.
You have, I have said this before, I will say it forever, you have the most jiffable face
Thank you very much.
of all time.
Thank you
Oh my
very
God,
much.
that was cute.
Good. Oh, wait, do that again. Good answer. I didn't see that one before. New graphics. Throwing it up. Good answer. There we go.
I also love
they've been waiting for that one for a while. All right.
Yeah, they've been sitting on it the whole show. Sing would like to know, could you be deported if you file for your daughter who's over 21? It's been 3 years since the case was approved. She filed her taxes and followed the law, but there's a woman harassing her and threatening her that she wrote immigration about God knows what. Should we be really worried right now?
Nah, people write immigration all day long. The odds that someone from immigration is going to go find your daughter who hasn't committed any crimes, is highly unlikely. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying extraordinarily unlikely. Go about your business.
Punchy wants to know, I'm asking for a friend, always. I came to the U.S. on a visiting visa, got married, and got a work permit and a social security card. My husband did not show up on my second interview, and I went by myself, and they told me to withdraw my 485, and they told me to get a lawyer because my husband wasn't there. I couldn't find my husband at the time for my interview, and after I could not take the stress I'm going through, so I went back to Jamaica. Is there any hope to come back to the U.S. on a visa after filing again? Any way I can come back to the U.S. at all?
Not on a visa, not on a visitor's visa, because you've already shown the intent to get a green card. So once you've shown the intent to get a green card, you're not getting a visitor's visa, you're not getting a student visa. Any visa that you have to show a non-immigrant intent that you're going to return to Jamaica, you're not getting it. Now, if it was within 2 years of a divorce, or you haven't divorced your husband yet, and there was emotional abuse or physical abuse, then perhaps you want to file an abuse case even from outside of the country. You can do it from outside of the country, but in terms of you getting a visitor's visa, that's not going to happen.
Marie would like to know, I was filing for my visa in 2006, but by my mom, and was asked to do a waiver and a historical report. Unfortunately, she died before I could submit them, so so my filing could not go through. The waiver was for a case in 2002 where I was accused of backdating my passport. Now, in 2018, my daughter is finally eligible to file. I consulted an attorney and was told that if my daughter filed, I would be denied because of the backdating is considered fraud and my case won't be considered. Is there any way around this?
Yes, you need a parent or a spouse for a waiver for the fraud. You can't get a fraud waiver through your child. So the only way you're getting a green card is be in a bona fide marriage to a resident or a citizen or have a parent who is legal. Now, a lot of times what we do is, what I've seen done, not what we do, but what I've seen done is that, you have maybe a sister here or a brother here who's a U.S. citizen, and your parent wants to come live in America. So then the brother or sister files for the parent comes here, the parent has a green card, and now you can do a waiver.
This is why.
I'm not saying, but that would be it.
But the fact that, this is what I'm always surprised about, and we get this in the comments all the time, is an attorney saying, there's no hope for me, there's nothing I can do, and then you're like,
I don't know, I just assumed,
I
don't know.
Possibilities, maybe.
You gotta think outside the box.
Exactly. Shay K wants to know, I have a friend who's from Jamaica and came to the U.S. on a visitor's visa, but overstayed his time. And he'd like to know if his mom, who is a U.S. citizen, could go ahead and file for him, and if so, how long? And while she files for him, could he just stay in the U.S. even though he's overstayed?
Well, you're already staying in the U.S., you've overstayed.
Right.
You staying more is not going to make a difference, okay? Your mom's going to file for you. It's going to be 6-7 years. You're going to need to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back.
Princess Rose says, can a green card holder file for someone who got married?
Can a green card holder file for someone who got, why not?
That's the whole question.
Yes, of course a green card holder can file for a spouse. A green card holder can file for a spouse or a child under 21 or an unmarried child over the age of 21. Green card holders can file for 3 people, spouses, children under 21, children over 21 who happen not to be married.
Martine asked a question a couple of weeks ago and thinks that maybe there wasn't enough information given, so we're gonna get it going again with more info. Martine said, I had asked a question regarding a U visa, where Brad said that as much as that the actual U visa could take years, the work authorization should have already been given at least 4 months after he did his biometrics.
No, it's not what I said. What I said is,
yeah.
Okay, so let's be clear on what I said. What I said is that if you have a U visa that is pending more than 180 days, you have the right to file for a work permit based on humanitarian reasons. That's what it is. Now, you got to show humanitarian reasons why you need a work permit, but you have the right to do it, and the Attorney General has the right to provide you with that work permit.
And then he also asked a follow-up of you mentioned something about doing a hardship application. What does that mean?
I had mentioned something about humanitarian reasons.
Ah, see, we get the signals crossed. Glad you asked for clarification, Martine. Princess Rose, Princess Rose had a bit of a follow-up. Could a green card holder file for someone who got married and the wife has a visitor's visa?
Yes, but the wife's not going to overstay their time. The wife's going to go back home, wait about 1.5 years, but the wife will come back with a green card.
No.
Why did I just do that? I just had to.
Did you have a neck itch?
Yeah, it was like, like you were like, all right, I'm not going to itch, I'm not going to itch, I'm not going to do it. And then I had to do it, and I thought the camera was off me, and then I looked up.
And it was still on. I've been midway through a nose scratch when the camera comes back.
Yeah, you got to be very, very careful here. You're like, wait, you're like, well, I'm sorry, my finger was up my nose? Oh, I didn't see. Right. All right, what else you got?
Noreen says, my daughter was approved for her green card when she was 14 years old. She is now 23 years old. What can she do?
She was approved when she was 14?
Yeah.
By who? Who sponsored her?
That's everything we have?
I need to know more. Más info.
Más información.
Yes. Más info. That's my Spanglish.
Oh my God, your Spanglish is fantastic.
Thank you very much.
My goodness me.
Yes.
It's a good thing we have other people who speak actual Spanish here at Spar Bernstein. Michelle says, I was put in removal proceedings in 2012 because of marriage that I abandoned. Got married in 2017 and filed my 485, my I-130, and my 765 all at once. Anyways, the case was closed with the judge because I got the I-130 approved and the 765. So now we're just waiting on the 485 to be approved, where they claim it's at the Manhattan office. The file was transferred now to my local office. So what do I need to do now? Because the 485 says the admin was closed.
Well, it sounded like everything was good up until this very last sentence. The last sentence when you said closed.
Yeah.
What the I-485, actually, you're okay. So what happened is that you were in removal. You filed an I-130 in removal. You proved it was a real marriage. And then the immigration judge, what's called admin, which is administratively closed your removal hearing. He basically said, we're not moving forward on it. You're not out of deportation. He's just not moving forward on it. And he gave you an opportunity to file an adjustment application with the Immigration Service. Now your file got transferred to the local office, which means that they're getting ready to schedule you for your final adjustment interview. That's going to happen very shortly. Once you get your adjustment and you pass and you get your green card, then they will terminate your deportation and all done. Voila, you have a green card, go celebrate. All good.
See, good news. Good news makes me happy.
Good news, yes.
Paulette says, how long does it take for a green card holder to file for his wife?
About 2 years. About 2 years. All right, so let's do one or two more.
Okay.
We got Cameron from Queens, and then we got some other stuff we got to do.
Other stuff?
Other stuff.
I do like surprises, Brad.
Yes.
Princess says, can I get married in the States and then go back to my home country while the filing takes place?
Princess says, can you get married in the States? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You marry a citizen, you can marry a resident. Now, I don't have the show rundown here, but I do know that Anna Azcona is very serious rant.
Does she?
A very serious rant.
What's she ranting about?
I am sorry.
No.
No, she does not.
She's not ranting.
She's not ranting.
What's she doing?
I'm not exactly sure what she's doing. I don't know what she's doing. What are you doing down there in Miami? When is she coming up to New York, by the way? She needs to be here next to us. I don't know what this thing is that Anna gets to hang out in Miami every day.
I think we're being jealous of the weather right now.
No, I'm not being jealous of the weather. All right. We got to speak to her people. She's got to be in New York here in the studio with us.
Right.
Ranting.
We do rant.
And then we're going to bring her over to Jeff's house for dinner.
Oh my God, Jeff already asked about polygamy in the comments. So
all right, let's see what Anna has to say.
Hey friends from the Brad Show Live, I'm Anna Azcona. Today I have here with me the beautiful Carolina Peguero. She's a beauty influencer and also a news reporter. Thank you so much, Caro, for joining us today.
Thank you, Anna, for having me here. I'm really excited to join your show.
Can't you guys can't just get enough of this hair, right? It's so beautiful. Caro, can you tell us a little bit about everything that you do?
Yeah, so I'm a beauty creator. So basically what that means is I create my own content. I am in love with makeup and fashion and everything that's trending. And for me, that's just kind of like my expressing, myself and being able to put it out there kind of like just like as an outlet. But my real profession is a news reporter. So I enjoy to, be out on the scene, and I'm more of a investigative reporter. So I like to kind of figure things out, be able to talk to the community, and it's kind of like a service that you do for the community.
Being first generation, what are some of the struggles you dealt with?
We did a lot of moving around. We originally moved to Boston. My parents came from Dominican Republic to Boston, Massachusetts, and that is a city that's filled with immigrants, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. You'll find all the kinds of Latinos there, and with that you'll also find a lot of people that are going through the process of becoming citizens or even legal residents. From my personal experience, I learned, my mom, it took her about 10 to almost 12 years to get her citizenship. Usually it should take 5 years after you've become a resident. And I would sometimes see my mom crying, and the fees were so much, and my parents, both hard-working parents. My dad had 2 jobs. My mom she was a nurse, and she worked 16-hour days, and it was hard, We found out that there were a lot of people that were submitting to become citizens. And it was just, it was going to take forever. Right. So we eventually moved to Ohio. And I will tell you that within the year and a half, my mom had her citizenship. So I think from learning from that just shows that depending on where you live is how the immigration process is going to take either long or is going to be shorter.
What made your parents migrate from the Dominican Republic to the United States?
Well, my mom actually was the one that told my dad, "Ya yo no puedo, I can't do this." And my dad's like, "What? What's going on?" My dad actually had a really good job in Dominican Republic, but my aunt was living already in Boston, and my grandfather was living there, and she just said she wanted a better life. Obviously, I was made in Dominican Republic, but but I was born in Boston. So my mom actually came when she was 8 months pregnant with me, and she wasn't supposed to, but she applied for a visa, and she did it behind my dad's back because she knew that if she would have gone by telling him, he was going to tell her, "No, we're fine here, we don't need to go anywhere." And she did it, and then when it actually came that she could, have the visa, she called my aunt. My aunt bought her ticket, and she said she was going to come and not go back to Dominican Republic.
Wow.
And I didn't technically meet my dad till I was 2.
That's so funny. Our stories are so similar. My mother came 3 months pregnant here. She had no idea. She found out here that she was pregnant. I met my father when I was almost like 4, and my siblings, because my father stayed in Dominican Republic with my brother and my sisters. So crazy. So I always make the joke when a Dominican tells me you're not Dominican, I'm like, no. I was made in DR. I was just born here.
Yep, and I always tell
them both.
I even drank Dominican water.
Do you feel like you guys are living the American dream? Wait, but before you answer that, what's your definition of the American dream?
I think the definition of the American dream is really based off on you. You are in charge of your life. You're in charge of the decisions that you make, what choices you make, and what vision you have for your own life. You can't be afraid to think that you have to live under the shadows because you're an immigrant. You don't have to be afraid because you don't have a social security number. At the end of the day, you're not a number. You're a human. Blood runs through your body, and you have every right to be here.
So back to the original question, are you guys living the American dream?
I would say that my family, after 15, 20 years, we have. And I'm very proud of my parents. I'm very proud of how far as a family we've gotten. My family is very, very close. Now I could say both my parents have their own business. My mom has a restaurant and my dad has a mechanic shop. My parents have their own home. They have been able to buy their own cars. They pay taxes, And slowly I feel like every person that's an immigrant or a minority or that's not from the United States should have that opportunity to fulfill that and become a part of our culture, because my dad even now says, he's like, there's no way I would be able to have what I have if I lived in
so
the
he must be very thankful for your mom.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Caro, for joining us today. Let us know where we could check out your beauty blogs, any of your work, like your journalism pieces.
Of course. You can follow me on Instagram at Caro Peguero _. And also Twitter, same handle, at Caro Peguero _. And of course, you could be on the lookout for me. I'm going to be doing some more news and beauty videos, and just stay tuned.
All right, so there was no rant there. That was Anna's interview, and I see everybody getting on Jeff. I was looking at the comments during Anna's piece. Also, Cosmeta Compton, we're going to do something, dinner for the whole Brad Squad.
Yeah.
We're going to do something, like a big party, summer block party maybe.
That's the way to do it.
We got to get into that. We got to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. I promise you.
Shut down a New York City street and do it.
Yeah, we're going to shut it down. That would be cool.
Right? Wouldn't it? Get
Why
a
not?
DJ out there.
Why not?
It could be a potluck. Everybody can finally bring the food they keep talking about.
Everybody wants to meet Yo-Yo.
Everybody wants to meet Yo-Yo.
And
touch
Anna.
his arms.
Anna maybe will come up from Miami.
And Jeff would die. Jeff would drive all the way.
Yeah. Anyways, 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call. Let's speak to Cameron from Queens, New York. Cameron, how are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Good afternoon. One quick question.
Yes.
I have 3 daughters over in New York. They come illegal in the country. Can I sponsor them?
You have 3 daughters. They're illegal or they came illegal?
They came illegal.
Where are they from?
Guyana.
From Guyana. Well, if they entered without inspection, you can certainly file for them. They would need provisional waivers and have to go home and come back. If they came, from Guyana, I know all the lingo from every country because I've dealt with people from all over. If they came backtrack. You know what backtrack is, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
Okay, right. Okay, right. They came backtrack. Okay, and then they flashed some, documents they shouldn't. Now they got fraud waivers too. So I think in your situation, let them come in. Let's find out their specific situation, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right, hold on one second. All right, got to know the lingo from every country, right?
He was impressed.
He was
that
impressed.
You knew that. He was like, I know what that is.
Yeah. Right.
Brad's plugged in, you guys.
That's right. It's like the Central Americans say they ran across the frontier.
Right.
Right. That's how they phrase it.
That's how they phrase it.
In Spanish, obviously. All right. So, any event, Nicole Hemrick, right? One of our fantastic immigration attorneys.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
Do. So she had this really complicated case where the guy came. Mm-hmm. Let me give you a little tidbit here. Guy came. He filed for asylum. His asylum was a bogus asylum. It was a fraud. He was discovered. After it was discovered, he was convicted of a crime for cashing a bad check for a friend for $30,000. Happens to be a good guy, believe it or not. You won't,
right.
When you hear, you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. The guy couldn't get a green card for 27 years. Finally came to Nicole in our office, and now he has a green card. Watch. So today we're going to be talking about a particularly difficult case we had here at Spar and Bernstein. It turned out very successful for our client after years and years of hardship trying to get through with a green card. I have with me today Nicole Hemrick. She's one of our incredible immigration attorneys, and she's a fabulous attorney. And she was the one who worked on his case. We're going to call him a different name. He doesn't want to be known by his real name, so we're going to be calling him Winston, although Winston is not his real name. But for this purpose, his name is Winston. So Nicole, tell us about Winston's case. Tell us about the facts and why it was particularly a difficult situation for Winston and his whole immigration situation.
Okay. Yes. So Winston has been here for many years, almost 30 years. When he came, he did come on a visa, but then he encountered several problems that set him back substantially. First, in order to try to legalize his status, he went to somebody who he had been recommended to, who supposedly helped other people. The person promised to help him to normalize his status, and it turned out that he actually filed a fake asylum claim for him.
Right. So this was probably back in the 90s when I started out as an attorney. Political asylum, it was taking 7, 8, 9 years to get a work permit. And there was a lot of attorneys, a lot of notarios, people who said they were paralegals, and even licensed attorneys who were telling immigrants, I'll get you a work permit. They didn't know any better. And then they would file a political asylum claim. They didn't even know what they filed, but they did know they got a work permit. And they got it for 7 years or 8 years before anybody even looked at their case. And then eventually when they would see that there was some sort of fraudulent asylum claim, and it would end up giving them big problems. Some people would even get deported from it. There's attorneys from the 90s who went to jail for doing this. Not me, obviously, or not Nicole, but we are aware of those situations. And people like Winston, or many people came here, they're like, I'm just happy I got a work permit. They don't really ask a lot of questions about why or how I'm entitled to a work permit, or maybe they do, and people were lying. There was a lot of people lying about filing asylum claims and saying, yes, I'll get you the work permit, even though, and they thought that they were filing for amnesty and all sorts of things.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened with Winston. It turns out this person was not an attorney, presented Winston as being from a different country than he actually is, and so having an entirely different identity, and therefore claim that had nothing to do with who he actually was or anything in his facts.
Now Winston was from Jamaica, but this asylum claim he didn't even realize. I know people who signed I'm not saying Winston did this. I don't know. We're going to find out about Winston's case. But I know people who signed blank forms, and then a paralegal or an unscrupulous attorney or somebody who claims they're an attorney when they're not would fill in stuff that's just absolutely not even true.
Right. So Winston did not know what he was signing. And when he learned years later, when he came to us and we did a FOIA request, he was actually shocked, very upset about what had happened. And we had to figure out how to remedy the situation. And beyond that, Winston got into some trouble because one of his friends asked if he could do him a favor. And this was years after the asylum situation. And just cash his girlfriend's check for him. And it turned out that the check was fraudulent.
Not a good check.
Not a good check.
Right.
He wound up being charged and convicted for it. He tried to wear a wire and help the police catch this other person, but he believes the person was tipped off when it came down to that. So he wound up taking the fall. He actually pleaded guilty. And from that time, he has been a law-abiding person, definitely showed rehabilitation and contrition.
So Winston came, and like I'm going to tell you, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of immigrants in the 90s filed a political asylum claim that was not a legitimate claim. He may or may not have known what he was doing, but certainly he didn't realize the ramifications of all of this. He just assumed he's getting a work permit, and then years later was a pawn in what ultimately was a much bigger scheme, and unfortunately he got the rap for it. Now, he was living in the United States for 27 years when he finally met Nicole. Is that correct?
Right.
And what did you do for him?
So he has a U.S. citizen wife. He has 3 U.S. citizen children. His eldest child is actually autistic. His wife has significant health problems, diabetes, psychological problems for which she's consistently attending a psychotherapist and taking medication. And we filed 2 waivers.
And just so you know, for everybody out there, the armchair attorneys out there, okay, you file fake political asylum claims, and you have, what amounts to, as far as immigration is concerned, although Winston was a pawn, a very serious criminal offense. Cashing a $33,000 check is an aggravated felony. And this is what he comes to Nicole with. I'm here 27 years. I have a fraud, and I've got an aggravated felony. And then you needed waivers.
Then we needed waivers. We submitted 2 waivers, and we ultimately attended the interview together. And the officer had a lot of questions about the hardship. And he actually asked me about this issue with the conviction. And while it looked like an aggravated felony, and it was a felony in the criminal context, I explained that because he was not sentenced to a year, it should not be counted as a felony. And they agreed with me.
They agreed with your argument.
And he now is a green card holder.
That's wonderful. And by the way, we have Winston by phone here. So this is a true story. Is that correct, Winston?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
And welcome to Brad Show Live. And we have Nicole, who is your fantastic attorney who took you through this entire process. I got a question for you, Winston.
Yes.
When you met Nicole, did you ever think you were going to get a green card?
I had doubts. Believe me, because of my situation, and just like she explained it perfectly, I really had doubts. If I was going to get through, because of all the chaos that went on around the case. But it's a proven fact. I got my green card.
And now you were here for 27 years. You obviously ran into some trouble along the way. Tell me how getting a green card has changed your life. What was life like before the green card, and what's life like now with a green card?
Well, I feel like I get my life back now. I can do anything. I can go anywhere I want to go without having to be looking over my shoulder and wondering if this is going to happen, or I could walk into any place right now, and apply for a job without thinking, are they going to ask for this? Do I have a Social Security card? Do I, you know what I mean? So life is great now, man. Believe me, it is. It is.
And now you were here for 27 years. And you know, rightfully or wrongly, you had a fraud on an asylum case that was filed. Obviously, you have excuses on why that happened, and there was this criminal situation, and there was actually extenuating circumstances about what that happened. But the facts are, you were guilty of both. Both could have either one could have got you back in your home country, deported, never to be with your family again. How was living in the United States with that uncertainty?
Listen, it like every day this thing goes through my mind. You know, when you know the uncertainty. You know, when I didn't have a green card. Every day I get up, you know, and I wonder, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if I ever had gotten deported? You know, my family could not survive. They just could not, you know, because my wife is very sickly,
right?
You know, and you know, as you know, I have an autistic son,
right?
And believe me, they could not have done it, done it alone.
And that's why your waiver was approved, because you know, you were able to present this evidence to your very good attorney Nicole, who was then able to present this evidence, to immigration, and they agreed with everything you just said. Your wife and family can't live without you, which is why you got your waivers. So what do you have to say to Nicole? What do you have to say to people out there? Would you recommend Nicole?
Oh, 10 times over. You know, I just have to point out one thing to dear Brad.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. You know.
Okay.
While we were, just like Nicole said, you know, she went with me for the interview, and while we were in the doing the interview, the officer, he asked a legal question.
Right.
You know. Yeah, why is it when Nicole told him that I didn't get
an aggravated felony?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So he referred to an article, you know, something pertaining to the law.
Right.
Nicole just spit it out right there and told him, and he had to refer to a book.
Right.
To find it, you know. So he said to me, "Oh, you have a good lawyer there. I can't get around this one."
Well, it's true.
That was the exact word.
And it's true.
It is true.
It's true. And it is true. But also, you know, it's a very good point that you make. The immigration officers are not attorneys. Okay, so they didn't. Most of them, maybe some did go to law school, but it's not a requirement to go to law school to be an immigration officer and interview you.
Oh, okay.
They are not attorneys. Okay, they do not know the law as well as a good attorney. Okay, and that's why you see a lot of times immigration making mistakes, and that's why you have good attorneys to point it out to them why they would be making a mistake, and they would have in your particular case. Winston, we are so happy that we were able to make your dreams come true, your family's dreams come true. This is what we call the American dream. Let me ask you a question, because we ask this of everybody. What is your American dream, and are you living it now?
Well, my American dream just came true by having my green card. Because can you imagine living in a country, not having that for over 27 years? You don't know what is going to happen the next day, you know. So believe me, having that card makes me feel like a free man, like I get my life back, you know.
Well, it's amazing. Amazing.
So having that card, man, let me feel so good.
It's amazing. Winston, congratulations to you and your
Thank
family.
You guys
all right, make us very proud of you, Winston. Stop by when you're in Manhattan. And Nicole, fabulous job, great job. And she does a great job not only for Winston but for all of her clients. Excellent. And Winston, thank you for coming on, and Nicole, thank you for sharing as well.
Thank you so much, and congratulations,
Winston. Thank you very much, Nicole.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
And I do have to remind everybody that obviously prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome. But Nicole, fabulous job. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, Winston.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care now.
All right. So everybody knows, you know, Same telephone number to call, 1-800-529-5465 is the number for my law office, Spar and Bernstein, as well as the number to get on our show, Bradshaw Live. You can be watching us on Facebook at Bradshaw Live. You could also be watching us on Facebook at Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein. Either place. You can leave your questions with Belgium Kim. Hopefully she'll get to them. We're running out of time. Let's go fast. No time for chit-chat. Kayla in Queens.
Hi, good
Hi,
night.
Kayla. How are you? Good night.
I'm fine.
What's going on?
Okay, so I'm calling to find out something. My mom was approved for her green card through her husband, through her marriage, and she had filed for me and my little brother. She went on the interview. She was approved, and we was approved as well. And the first time, for some, I think she said it was a visa or a visa number or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were supposed to do a adjustment of status, but when she kept calling to do the adjustment of status, they kept saying that it wasn't ready.
Who is she calling for an adjustment of status? You don't call anybody to adjust your status. Who are you?
Yeah,
she calling?
No, she was calling to find out what she had was to wait a period of time before she could able to file the adjustment of status.
Who is sponsoring her?
My stepfather.
Your stepfather. Okay, and he's a citizen.
Yes.
And how old was she when the stepfather filed the papers?
I was 14 when it was approved, and now I'm 24.
Okay, how did you come to the United States?
Through visa.
And you don't have a green card?
No.
You should have one immediately. You're under Child Status Protection Act. You're under 21 the day your stepfather filed for you when you were 14.
Okay.
You've been eligible to adjust your status for the last decade. That's why I'm like, who are you calling?
Okay, so I will definitely be coming into your office.
Come see me. Hold on. Yeah, come see and bring the paperwork. Hold on. All right, let's go to Rona in Roxville, Maryland. Rona.
Hello.
Hi, Rona.
Hi, Brad. I'm asking a question for my friend.
Mm-hmm.
She's married and her husband brought her to America. But she wanted to do a citizenship, but she don't know where her husband is. And she don't know if she's divorced or anything. Can she still apply for the citizenship?
How long has she had a green card?
3 years.
No, she can't. She has to be a resident for 5 years if she's not living with her husband.
So, will they ask her for the husband because she don't know where he is?
But she can't do her citizenship right now. She's only had a green card for 3 years. Wait till 5. Maybe the husband will show up. And the answer is, if he doesn't show up, then the marriage is over. It doesn't matter.
And she don't have and if suppose she's still married and she don't know.
Then so.
Is there a way for her to find out if she's still married or he divorced her?
Okay, two things. Those are two different answers. Number one, she can't do her citizenship right now. The reason she can't do her citizenship is to do your citizenship after 3 years of having a green card. You have to be able to prove you live with your husband, which she can't do. You can do your citizenship after having 5 years of a green card, which will be in 2 more years from now. Doesn't matter where the husband is. She's just going to say, I don't know where he is. He disappeared. Perfectly fine. Now, in terms of figuring out whether she's divorced or not, you have to do a vital statistics search in any state that you think the husband lived in or you're living in, and ask the state to do a search of divorces in that particular state. We can help you with all of this. So hold on 1 second, okay?
I'll give her the number.
Oh, perfect. Even better. Even better. Thank you for calling, Rona.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Belgium Kim, we have quick time for about 3 or 4 questions before we get into Paul Hirsch.
Fantabulous. Our first question is from Chin. Chin says, what should an immigrant do if ICE pulls them over?
Well, I mean, you can't run. Depends what your situation is. Always have a good number right here. Okay? But, everything is relative. Okay? You don't want to run, you want to cooperate. If you're out of status, you're going to get arrested or be given a notice to go see a judge. Make sure you got a good immigration lawyer.
Sylvania says, what is the process to change my green card from conditional to permanent, and can you help?
Yes. It's an I-751. You got to prove that you and your spouse are living together. I can certainly help you.
Fantastic. You want some more?
2 more.
Okay. Rachel says, how long does it take to get your green card if your child is filing for you?
Your child can't file for you, but if your child happens to be 21 and is an adult, which would be a son or daughter, it's about a year.
And Tracy says, how long does it take for an immigrant visa filed by a sibling with American citizenship?
How long does it take to get a green card?
Yep.
About 14 years. So any event, Belgium, Kim.
What's going on?
I had a chance to speak with Paul Hirsch a little earlier today. Paul Hirsch is one of our fantastic criminal defense attorneys here at Spar and Bernstein. I don't know if you saw about the nanny murder trial. There was a nanny.
Yes.
And I forgot what country she's from. She's one of the Central American. She's from the Dominican Republic. I was saying Central America, which I was wrong. She's from the Dominican Republic. And about 5 years ago, she was working for a relatively wealthy couple on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And the mom came home to find the nanny on top of her children, who were aged 2 and 4 at the time. 2 and 6 at the time. The nanny had stabbed the children several times, killed these children. She was arrested. It was a horrific, horrific, horrific crime. 6 years later, millions and millions of dollars later, the state finally got a conviction. Paul Hirsch, who's our criminal defense attorney, came onto our set earlier today to break it all down. Let's watch. All right, so big in the news this week is the nanny murder trials here in New York City. Lucia and Leo Krim, ages 6 and 2 years old. They were stabbed to death by their nanny over 2 years ago. The nanny's name was Yoselin Ortega, and the stabbing allegedly happened in the parents' Upper West Side Manhattan apartment on October 25th, 2012. Her criminal trial is coming to a close right now in Lower Manhattan, a few blocks from our offices here at the law offices of Spar and Bernstein in the New York State Supreme Court. It lasted almost 7 weeks. On April 18th, after a day and a half of jury deliberations, Yoselin Ortega was found guilty of all 4 counts of murder, 2 counts of first degree, 2 counts of second degree murder. She is set to be sentenced on May 14th. Here to break it all down and discuss it is our criminal defense attorney extraordinaire, Paul Hirsch from the Spar and Bernstein criminal defense team. Paul, how are you?
Good, Brad. How are you?
And thanks for coming on. You haven't been on in a while?
Yep, been a little bit.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Working hard.
Yep, very good. I'm glad you are. So now let me ask you a question. Give us a little background for those who don't know about this background of this, what is in essence what was described in the newspapers to be a horrific case of a nanny stabbing to death 2 little children. Tell us what happened.
Well, this was horrific. This was back in 2012. The nanny had been working for the family for almost 2 years. And the mother took the youngest child to swim class. And when she came home, found in the bathtub her 2 other children full of blood and obviously deceased.
So now this was a 7-week trial, Paul.
Yep.
What took 7 weeks if it was really an open and shut case?
Right.
I mean, we're talking about an open and shut case here. What took 7 weeks? What is the criminal defense putting on for 7 weeks?
Right. Well, all cases boil down to 2 aspects, really. What happened and then why, and the intent. And so here we knew what happened. No, there was no argument as to how they died, where they died, who actually did the stabbing. This all came down to what was in Miss Ortega's mind at the time she committed these horrific acts.
So what was the arguments for the prosecution? Obviously the arguments was that she walked into the bathroom and she intentionally murdered these children. What was the defense arguments?
Defense argument was that she couldn't form the intent because she was not of sound mind at the time she committed the acts.
So when you say you can't inform the intent, what does that mean? I mean, she obviously intentionally did something.
Yes.
All right. It just didn't happen by happenstance. She intentionally did something. What do you mean in the legal term that she couldn't form the intent to murder these children? What does that mean in the defense, in a criminal defense courtroom.
Sure. A case like this boils down really to the testimony of the experts. Both sides called experts, psychologists, and others in the field who either interviewed Ms. Ortega in the 6 years since this incident or studied reports of people that interviewed Ms. Ortega and gave their opinion as to what her mental capacity was at the time the crime was committed. And the jury needed to decide whether Ms. Ortega lacked the substantial capacity to appreciate the nature and consequences of her conduct, or that such conduct was wrong.
So here's what New York State penal law says, Paul. I'm reading it here. It says a person lacks criminal responsibility, all right, because they're arguing over her mental illness. And what New York State says is a person lacks criminal responsibility by reason of mental disease or defect when at the time of the prohibited conduct, which would be the murder of these children, as a result of a mental disease or defect, that person lacks substantial capacity to know or to appreciate the nature and consequences of such conduct, or that such conduct was wrong. So the defense would have to argue she didn't realize when she takes a knife and puts it into a child's body that that child will die.
Right.
Or that when she picks up a knife and puts it into that child's body, that's something that we don't do here in America or anywhere in the world.
Right.
So what is the arguments for the defense to say she didn't understand by doing this? I mean, that's a big burden to overcome there.
Yes, it is. And these defenses are rather difficult and are not successful often. This was a horrific case. At some point, the defense has to put on something, and so decided to have experts examine her and testify that she didn't know the conduct was wrong. I'm not sure how you necessarily prove that or show that, or that she didn't understand that what was going to happen would result in what happened. A difficult road to hoe.
So when the criminal defense attorney Valerie Van Leer Greenberg, she was assigned to this woman.
Yep.
She was paid by the state to represent.
Yes.
She was objecting quite a bit during the cross-examination of Kevin Krim's testimony. Kevin Krim is the father of these children. Is this a strategy that you normally use to go object all the time of basically the victim of the father of these children? What would be the purpose of doing all of those objections? How was that helping this nanny?
Yes, the only thing that you would be doing that for is to set up an appeal, that you believe that either the father's testimony was irrelevant here and was unduly prejudicial, and you objected to have him testify at all, and once he was allowed to testify, you object each and every question to show that every question is unduly prejudicial, and therefore hopefully establish something on appeal about this trial.
So did you get a chance to look at this at all? What was the demeanor of Ortega in court? That was the nanny who was accused of these murders.
Yeah, I mean, her demeanor was fairly, down the middle. I mean, she was not obviously remorseful, and she was not laughing during the testimony. She was, there were no strange outbursts from her or anything of the sort. She seemed to sit rather stoically when rather horrific testimony was given, and really only showed some emotion when one of the defense experts testified about their conversations with Miss Ortega.
So ultimately, the prosecutor, the defense said, the devil made her do it. She said, I heard voices in my head.
Right.
And apparently the jury did not buy that from at least the defense expert witnesses who said that she was insane. She didn't have the capacity to understand when she picked up a knife and put it into a child's body that would cause the child's death or that was wrong. And she was hearing voices in her head. The jury didn't buy that argument. Apparently, the parents of these children were extraordinarily sympathetic.
Sure.
I read here that Marina Krim screamed out, that's Marina there, during her testimony, "You're a piece of work," she told Ortega. You're evil, and you like this. You're getting pleasure." Now that actually would show somebody who doesn't appreciate that they did something wrong. But that obviously didn't sway the jury in the end.
Right.
And now let me ask you a question. So the jury during this entire process, they saw a lot of horrible things.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation, or because you've not only been a prosecutor in Brooklyn, but also now a criminal defense attorney for 20 years, where something was so horrific that the jury had to have some sort of help after the courts help jurors? I would think that I would need to speak to somebody after this. I wouldn't be able to sleep well.
Well, I guess your jury payment of about $18 or $20 a day should cover whatever psychological treatment you may need. But seriously, no, there's nothing really set up to help a juror who has seen some horrific images and heard some horrific testimony. I've had some trials, some homicide trials, in which there was some graphic testimony or pictures, and it's not easy.
So, have you ever had a situation where you had to pull the defense, "My client's insane, that's why he or she did it"?
Yes, I have.
And tell me about that.
It was a rather horrific, without getting into too many gory details, but a gentleman sexually assaulted someone and then set the house on fire. And it was, thankfully, no one was hurt additionally to that, and the fire was put out fairly quickly. But we did believe, after having experts examine our client, that they did not understand the consequences of their actions.
And we
were not successful.
You were not successful. It's very hard, you would think. It would be very hard to prove. What is the standard of proof that you have to prove? Because you have to prove. The prosecution has the burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt this woman murdered these children. It was, and quite obvious based on everything that was discovered.
Right.
The woman was there in the bathroom. She was discovered by the mom of these children standing on top of her murdered babies. The fingerprints on the knife had the nanny's fingerprint. It was beyond a reasonable doubt that this nanny killed these two children. What is the standard that you would have to prove now that this insanity defense, which was not successful, would prevail?
Well, and that's what's very difficult about a case like this, because it's an affirmative defense. And although normally a defense attorney doesn't have to prove anything, right? It's the government that has to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Once you decide to move forward with an affirmative defense like this, the burden shifts to you to prove beyond a preponderance of the evidence that this insanity is what took over, and that's what caused this.
So it's not, you don't have to prove, the defense does not have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person was insane.
Correct.
Preponderance of the evidence is very interesting.
Right.
The prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this nanny killed these children.
Correct.
And then it was for the defense to prove that 51% of the evidence says he's insane or she's insane. In this case, she's insane. And 49% says she is sane, not insane. And in this particular case, they weren't even able to prove by a preponderance of the evidence, which is 51 to 49.
Which is lower, yes.
Right, that she was insane. She certainly looks crazy.
Yes.
Being crazy and being not remorseful does not mean you don't appreciate what you're doing, or you don't understand that sticking a knife in somebody's body would kill them. There's a big difference between saying I'm crazy and I'm insane.
Right. And clearly there's some mental health issues here. I mean, no one is going to claim that Miss Ortega is in her right frame of mind or is not in need of mental services, but did it rise to the level where your intent is negated by this mental disease or defect?
Now, she has her sentencing May 14th, Miss Ortega. Do you have any doubt that she's going to be given life in prison?
No.
she's going to be going to jail forever.
She will never see the outside of a prison cell. She will get consecutive life sentences.
Was she offered any plea deal that you're
I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
Right. Do you ever see like these high-profile cases like this, a prosecution? It's pretty open and shut case. You know,
I don't know whether they said 50 years and we'll let it go, or I would think a case like this gets tried 99% of the time.
Why do prosecutors offer a plea deal then?
You look, sometimes you don't want to put the family through this, right? If the defense is if the individual is willing to take a 50-year sentence or a life sentence, maybe they offer 25 to life instead of 25 to lives to run consecutive. Maybe you consider taking something like that. You spare the family, you spare everyone the expense of trying a case like this. This trial was very expensive. You're talking 6 years since the date of the crime, expert upon expert upon expert. The prosecution costs money to prosecute a case like this, and the state paid for the attorney.
They probably spent millions of dollars.
Millions between both,
dollars.
Because the city paid for both.
Yeah, and then there's going to be more millions because they will be in
appeal. There will be.
There will be appeal. And the Kims, apparently, they didn't want to give any plea deal. They came willingly and testified. They didn't need to testify to get this woman prosecuted.
No, they certainly didn't.
All right. Paul Hirsch, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Come on more often, please. He's a fantastic criminal defense attorney. He's right here at Spar and Bernstein. For all people who need criminal defense, you give us a call right now, 1-800-529-5465. And for all people who don't think that they're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, now obviously I doubt anybody watching right now is going to go off and murder children, but you always find out, hopefully, but you always find out that you need a criminal defense attorney at the most inappropriate time, which is when the police are there.
Right.
Always save our number, always have really good criminal defense attorneys, especially right here in New York. You never know when you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I am telling you, this guy right here next to me is an awesome, fantastic criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor in Brooklyn, and now criminal defense attorney for the last 20 years. Paul Hirsch, thank you again.
Thanks, Brett.
And his number is the same number to reach us here at our firm, 1-800-529-5465. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, so Paul Hirsch with the nanny murder trial. Belgium Kim.
Yes.
Comment of the day.
Comment of the day goes to Lisa Bling Rose, and it's actually a pretty apt segue. Brad is here to wake us out of our nightmare and give us the American dream. Right?
I thought you were going to say something funny. I'm waiting.
No,
that's good.
That's just a good tagline.
That's a good tagline.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was just like, ooh,
I like it. Say that again.
Brad is here to wake us out of our nightmare and give us the American dream. I am loud. We need someone with like a James Earl Jones to voice that over for us.
Say that one more time.
Okay, one more time. Whew. Brad is here to wake us out of our nightmare and give us the American dream.
I like it.
God.
I like it.
Damn, that's good.
Damn, that's good. Those are some good words.
Those are some good words, Lisa
Those are some very, very good words. All right, everybody. A couple of housekeeping. All right, so everybody knows we should have announced at the beginning of our show, which we didn't. Okay, it's vacation time for people here at the Brad Show Live. So we will be on vacation. Brad has decided he is going to the Caribbean.
Yes, where are you going?
I am not telling.
Okay, good idea. Good idea.
Maybe somebody will see me there, but I'm not telling. Brad is going to the Caribbean, and Brad is sitting on a beach.
Bring
So for Thursday and Friday, I wave adieu to everybody. Adieu, adieu, adieu. And on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to be running the best of Brad Show Live. Belgium Kim, Yo-Yo, Groundhog Sam are all going to be there in the comments for the best of Brad Show Live. And then I'm going to be back live, God willing, back from the beach, unless I drink too much rum.
Which is a distinct possibility.
I will be back live a week from Thursday. So a week from Thursday, it will be Thursday, May 3rd. We'll be back live in the studio. So everybody have a great week. We are not going to be live again Thursday and Friday. Best of Brad Show Live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Coming to you 5:30 to 7:30. Belgium Kim will be live in the comments. Yo-Yo will be live in the comments. Sam, Groundhog Sam will be live in the comments. And I'm going to see you all back live on Thursday, May 3rd. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody. I need a little R&R. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.